Receiving is Annalie Waters, and the male partner for her is Ben Johns. Okay, guys, let's get in and start analyzing this first point. If this is your first time here, we do watch the entire point through every time, at least once, and then we back it up and analyze it. There's a benefit of seeing the whole point, how things progressed, so that you can kind of get an understanding of how we got to a certain point in the progression to determine where things are. Ben Johns actually called that ball out before Annalie Waters' beautiful ATP. That's really close. He may have actually been correct that there was space between that line and that ball, but in the end, it really didn't matter. So let's just take a look back, and we will kind of look here and say, okay, like, how did we get here? Not a very difficult dink across, but assuming that she hit it long. So I believe that this kind of breaks down right here. So I'm a very big proponent of, if you don't have to, don't step your opposite foot in front, because what does that do? Let's start drawing here so you can see. Look how much space from this point to this point. Open court for either Annalie to hit it in. Like, they're just seeing open court. Ben Johns is seeing open court. Okay, I got this. It doesn't matter how low or high this ball is. They're just speeding up because they're hitting to a gap, right? So what I'm talking about is right here on Rettenmaier, his right leg crossing over for his backhand. That's something you want to avoid because of how much open court you have. So now as we go forward, he gets back in time. Ben hits a nice soft, but then he does what I believe is even worse, is he runs around, and now there's even more. Look at all this open court. What does he expect his partner to do? And normally you don't see somebody at his, playing it in a semifinal match who's running around very much. Tyson McGovern does it quite a bit. And so to get to this level and do something where you're doing that to your teammate, you really have to have good dinks and the like. And so my opinion is, as you can see, this dink was high, but let's just sit there and say, okay, like, where's that ball? It's a yellow ball. It's right there in the yellow zone. So Annalie Waters is taking a risk. The problem is, even if you are, let's say, a 4-0 player and you're trying to get better and be like, when should I attack? When should I take the risk of a yellow ball? What any good coach is going to tell you is, hey, if your opponent is out of position and you have this giant lane where their feet, if they can get to the ball, their feet aren't going to be set. There's no way at this moment to get back and for them to get into position. See how she has to hit that off balance, feet not set, just kind of whack it back. So that's not a good softball. And Ben Johns can now push her way back. So now Kawamoto is way back here, clearly on the defense. And then she's trying her best to get back up, and then hits that ball what is called out, or easy ATP. That's really where it breaks down. In my opinion, when he goes around the ball, Kawamoto should not be watching her partner with her shoulders turned like this. She needs to be facing this way. She needs to be down and ready. And this just makes me feel that they haven't played that many doubles together. She needs to know that her partner is not going to go hard cross court, and she needs to be right on this middle line with her feet spread low and ready forward for whatever is going to come back. Unfortunately, she needs to give up this portion of the court because, once again, look where Ben is. If the ball is going over there, very low statistical shot, and most likely would have to be hit soft. And so when you play with a partner who is going to move like this and run around their forehand over here and leave up all that open space, you have to just say, okay, that's what my partner's chosen to done. You're dancing with that person. You've got to move with, if they move to the left, you've got to move to the left. And unfortunately, she doesn't. And so I'm not blaming her. I think it's on him choosing to do a mistake running around this. I mean, look how far he steps. He takes all these extra steps. So he gets back. He's kind of in position right about here. Ball's already coming, so he's a little late. And then he decides to take one big jump, two kind of in a slide where the ball was easily to his backhand. He didn't have to take any steps at all. Maybe a little soft little, 10% lunge, and he could have put the ball wherever he wanted, but he opens up the entire court and just sets his teammate up to get smashed on. She actually hit two great shots to just be able to handle that, and then unfortunately hits an out ball or an easy ATP. So I think that is one thing that when people are just watching this on TV, it's hard for them to really see, oh, well, where did it break down? And this is actually where it broke down and where things started to go really bad. We'll see how that affects them moving forward. Okay, guys, I think we analyzed that point really well. Hope you learned something from that. Let's jump on into the next one.